In this lesson, we'll load our bridge into our site environment. All right, so we've pretty much done with our bridge. We have a few elements left, but I think we could take care of those in the actual project environment. But before we bring this over into the project, let's make sure all of our materials are assigned correctly. So we just created our foundations here. So I'm going to tab, select those, and I see that there's no material added to that. So I'm going to give that a new material. So we'll create a material for that. I'm going to create new material. I'm going to rename this guy, and we'll call this one concrete. And I'm going to come to the appearance. I like that gray color. We'll go with that. Go to my graphics. I'm going to take what I have in my render settings. We'll apply that as well. And I'll say OK. And we now have our footing in place. We should do the same thing on this side to this footing. So I'm going to tab. I'm going to click on material. See, it's already highlighted. So I'm going to say OK. Material set there. And we have one more element that I need to set that to. And that's going to be this large spinal type member here connecting all our vertebrae. So I'm going to select that. We'll give that a concrete as well. Say OK. Click anywhere, and we've got all our surfaces in place for the most part. So now I can load this into our project. So I'm going to go load into project. We'll load it into site. And I'm just going to overwrite my existing version and its parameters. So I'll probably need to get out of my drafting view here with my images and jump into my three-dimensional view. We'll probably get a warning here from Revit as well. But if not, no, we didn't. So that's good. So we'll jump to 3D view. And I'm going to come here and locate my family we just imported into this project. So we'll go there. And it was a mass. So we'll go mass. And there it is. So we'll bring it into our project. Say OK. Let Revit do its thing here. And the only part of it's being shown, and that's just because my section box is actually cutting off most of my model in this particular view. So we can kind of scroll down here, look for section box, and deselect it. And our entire model should appear, and that's exactly what happened. So now what we need to do is we can go to top view. We're going to line this up to where it is lined up in the center, or as close to the center as we can get it. So we'll go move, and we'll grab at that point and just come to about right there. That'll work. But we also need to move it up and down as well to get it set on its right level. So I'm going to jump to an elevation view to get that accomplished. So we'll go, let's see if we can go to our site view and see if we can get a good view of that. Or actually our section view. I think I have most of my dimensions there. Yep, exactly. So we can highlight that element. We're going to move it. And we want to set the surface of this to be where the top of stairs are. So we'll grab the surface and bring it up here. Snap it to there, and that should be top of stairs. And now we just got to move this over a little bit, basically aligning it with the center point of here. So what I want to do basically is have to where this corner actually meets up with this. So let's try it. We'll grab our model. We'll grab it about this point here and see if we get, this isn't going to be our perfect spot there. So we'll look around, kind of scroll out and see if that'll work. Looks still off just a bit. We could definitely stand to move this over. So what we'll do, I'm going to try to use a reference line. Maybe that'll help us out finding our midpoint. So I'll find the midpoint, this surface here. So that is lined up nicely. So what we need to do is do some more moving over of this. So let's grab this model again, and we're going to move it over by a certain distance. And the distance I want to scoot it over by, let's start out with this distance here. I'm going to measure this guy. So we'll go from here to there. So that's about 6 feet. So let's see what happens if you move it 6 feet. So I'm going to grab my element. We'll move it over, we'll say 6 feet, 6 feet. Let's see what that placement does for us. And we could probably still stand to move it over some more. We've got some unevenness on both sides there. So I'm just going to manually move it over at this point. And this is more for visualization as opposed to an actual buildable structure here, but we'll try to get it right here. So I'm going to grab, click, and adjust. Still off just a little bit. So I'm going to grab it at this point, actually. That might be the best way. So we'll grab it there. Grab here. I'm going to grab it at this point. I'm going to bring it to about the middle here. That should help us out quite a bit. And I do like that positioning. So I'm basically going off of what's happening on the edge of each bank here. So now I should be able to jump to my 3D view, take a look at what we have. Get out of this view. And we can start building our stairs and our platform leading up to this element here. So we'll do that in the next lesson, now that we have everything imported and positioned properly. And we'll start building our stairs and platform there.